Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's February 5th here about 6:15 a.m. Taking a look at the snowfall here across some of the region. You can see we got some showers moving across the area, and this band of snowfall came across some of the Seattle metro. 1.1 inches of snowfall at my house, coating everything. Snow plows are out and about, and we've also got some traffic delays out there as well. Actually, some rollover crashes and whatnot, so be careful with that. And that's just that one band moving across there. You can see we still have quite a bit more moisture going on through the day today. We got these winter weather advisories that you can see in the purple. If I zoom in, you can kind of see those outline, and you can see the showers along the coastal areas as well. Snow ending right now for Spokane, and then you can see it's still pushing across Idaho and western Montana as we speak. So we'll dive into all these details here. We'll see what's coming as we go through the day today and tomorrow and what is going on through the extended forecast. And I'm going to jump towards the infrared satellite imagery, and you can see what is starting to drive this. And the surface low is right off the coast of Oregon right now, probably a beam seaside or so. There's Portland and Seattle. And again, this is going to be throwing moisture back up across the region as we go through the day today. And then the surface low is likely to creep towards the Washington coast. And we're going to get some interesting snowfall setting up as we go through the night tonight as well. So we'll dive into all those details. And taking a look here, I've got the dew points overlaid. The counties are in red, but you can see the precipitation again, the combination of Doppler radars here across the region. And just this band right there is the one that dropped the snow right there. That's what dropped the snowfall this morning. That's all it took to really kind of cause a bit of gridlock here across a lot of western Washington. Now, taking a look at the surface map here, the windy map, you can see the southerlies are starting to creep up the Willamette Valley a bit. So that's going to make it difficult for it to snow into some of the very lower elevations. You're probably going to have that slushy accumulation. But once you get up on some of the higher terrain, you're going to have a better chance of it sticking. And also the further north you go. You can see we are slightly offshore. This wind is coming out of the east here for western Washington. Fraser River outflow continues out of the northeast. That was producing some snowfall there for the north slope of the Olympic Mountains. And again, there's a surface low right there. Surface winds out of the south are starting to creep up the coastline there. Now, if you guys want a fun weather station here to watch things unfold across the Pacific Northwest, I was looking at this first thing this morning to check out the temperature when I looked outside and saw that it was snowing and accumulating. Very fun weather station. Help support the channel. Click on the link down below to save 10%. Now, look at Fauntleroy Ferry. This is all the way down towards sea level, coating the beaches there in some of West Seattle. Very slick out there. Careful for that if you are out and about this morning. There's more showers on the way as we go through the day today. And as I mentioned through tonight, some interesting stuff coming as well. I'll show you in a moment. Upcoming winter weather. So the winter weather advisories are in effect for Eugene, Salem, and Portland. You got winter storm warnings here still in effect for the coastal range also. So this is going to be ongoing through the day today. Some accumulation at times is possible. Generally on the lighter side here, you're not talking about 5, 6, 7 inches for the lower elevations, but of course just an inch or two can make things very slick, and especially across the higher terrain. If you have any kind of elevation at all, your chances of accumulating snowfall go up dramatically. Now, they had this at 10 a.m. this morning, the National Weather Service Seattle. They upped it here. I sent out a tweet this morning here trying to call everybody's attention to it, and they did listen, whether it was me or somebody else or whatnot, or they just saw what was going on outside. The winter weather advisory is ongoing now, and that continues on in through the day today. I think it's all the way in through tomorrow morning, if I'm not mistaken. There it is, 10 a.m. Thursday. Total snow accumulations of 1 to 2 inches, and I got to tell you, there's probably going to be a couple bands that set up where accumulations are going to be higher than this across some of western Washington. Now, as we go through snow Wednesday night, you can see additional snowfall amounts for Wilbur, Spokane, and out towards Sandpoint. There's Bonners Ferry. Look out past another 4 to 6. And again, slick roads can be expected. We've got another storm creeping through Oregon that I'll show you here in a moment as well. That's going to try to clip southeast Washington again, move across Idaho and towards Montana. So here's that more snow Thursday through Friday. You can see Missoula National Weather Service calling attention to the Idaho Panhandle, western Montana. Not done yet. You got more winter weather to come here, folks, so be ready for that. If we take a look at the pattern at 5,000 feet right now, so this is our surface low. This is the European last night's run. And you can see this is about 10 a.m. this morning. Still got that Arctic air. The Fraser River outflow is still going surface low right here. And boy, on the north side of this thing, we're going to set up some interesting snowfall amounts as we go through tonight. But this is what's bringing the showers and the precipitation across the region right now as we speak. So we scroll on in towards tomorrow morning. Again, that surface low is going to kind of dissipate here, but still be hung up across some of the area. Now, as we go on in through Friday night, there is another little system kind of creeping down. We'll watch that one. It's showing a little bit of of snowfall. Not too much right now, but we'll check back on that tomorrow. And then as we go through the extended forecast a little bit, you can kind of see the Arctic air still hanging around. The bulk of it goes east of the Rockies, but some of it is getting out across Pacific Northwest. This one has the look of kind of a dry intrusion where we stay pretty cold, and some overnight lows are going to be very chilly out there. You're going to want to cover your pipes and whatnot. So we're going to watch that one closely over the next few days as well. Now, looking at the North American model, this is hot off the presses. And again, this is that band right there. That was very disruptive for Seattle. And you see how meager it looked on the 12Z North American model. And then you can see these rounds of showers moving across western Oregon, western Washington as we go through the day today. I mean, we're going to warm up a bit here as we go through the day. But as we go through tonight, look at that surface low hanging out right there. And you can see these bands starting to set up as we go through tonight. In fact, let me update this because I know we have a lot more data. We're going to go back towards where we were this evening. This is about 6 p.m. But look at this. You can kind of see this hanging out here. Oh, boy, that's trouble. And that's going to set up for some interesting snowfall amounts for anywhere from Olympia, Tacoma, up towards the Seattle metro and back in towards the Cascades. And then you can see the next system down here that's going to be moving up across Oregon, spreading precipitation up towards Washington at times as we go through Thursday night and on into Friday. Look at that one creeping up towards Yakima, Tri-Cities, Walla Walla as well, and of course Eastern Oregon. And we'll see how this one is going to affect Western Oregon as well. We'll check on that one again tomorrow. But first things first. Now, I've stretched out towards tomorrow, Thursday. This is accumulated positive snow depth change in inches on the latest European model. This is disruptive, folks. This is not a cherry pick 10-to-1 sounding or 10-to-1 ratio snow map here or anything. In fact, if I click on the 10-to-1 ratio, boom, you can see that. Kuchera, 4-6, but I go with the positive snow depth change in inches. It's more conservative here and probably more realistic, but man, that would be disruptive snowfall for SeaTac as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. And the models have been showing this for a while now. Some heavy snowfall down towards Olympia and out towards, Pierce County here. The Pierce County line is there. Kitsap Peninsula, and this band extends off across to the northeast as well. 405, you're talking about trying to get up towards Bothell here, for example, Kirkland area. So yeah. Fun stuff coming in tonight. I'll be doing another video or probably live streaming at some point during the day today and probably out chasing the snow band as we go through tonight as well. Now, if we look at the European for Western Oregon, you can see it does have some accumulations. And man, you got to watch out because if this were to occur here across some of the I-5 corridor just south of the Portland metro or just off to the east of Portland, of course, that's quite disruptive here, but it doesn't show overly heavy amounts. You notice that as we go on in through tomorrow morning, but just watch out for that, especially across the higher terrain. Now, wider view of things here, accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. So here we go through the day today. You can see the showers, additional snow bands moving across the area. And then we go through tonight, that band sets up across the Seattle metro. And then as we go on in through Thursday, you notice the next storm Thursday night. Now we're into Friday morning. It starts to spread snow back north. That's about 8 a.m. Friday morning. And it tries to get towards southeast Washington a little bit there across Idaho and Montana. I think the GFS is a little more bullish, and you saw the North American model a little more bullish on bringing that moisture northward as we go through the day Friday. And then another system Friday night into Saturday. You can see some of that, a little bit of snowfall accumulation associated with that. So taking a look at the GFS here for Western Washington, close up view. It didn't even really capture this band that moved up today, that was this morning, that was quite disruptive. And then as we go through the day today, you can kind of see a few of the showers, maybe a little bit of accumulation with that. But watch as we go on in through tonight. Look at this, very disruptive snowfall amounts for the Seattle metro back across Gig Harbor and the Kitsap Peninsula down towards Shelton. And where this sets up, man, this is going to be kind of a fine line and back into the Cascades as well. Right now, kind of targeting the Seattle metro with this snowfall as we go through tomorrow morning. That's about 7 a.m. wrapping things up. Same thing with the GFS. Sorry, Portland snow lovers. The GFS doesn't like it too much this morning. But again, watch out, especially across some of the higher terrain. And it does show a little bit trying to move in here again on today, Saturday. We'll revisit that and some decent snowfall amounts across the higher terrain also. Quickly looking at the GFS wider view of things here. Here we go through the day today. We're now scrolling in through about midnight tonight. And you can see the band across the Seattle metro setting up. And then as we go on in through Thursday night, you'll see the next storm starting to spread northward across Oregon. And you can see it pushing into some of southeast Washington yet again. I think that is Walla Walla. That's 5 inches. And again, this is a conservative accumulated positive snow depth change in inches. And again, that's going to stream across Idaho and Montana. What great snowfall amounts across some of the higher terrain out across Idaho and Montana over the last few days, and will still to come here as well. And again, if I back this up, you'll notice that's a pretty good swath of snowfall happening across some of the Cascades of Oregon. How much is that going to get into Medford there as well? But yeah, and then that next system rolls through. Okay. So if we look at the GFS here, I want to just kind of show you, there we go. And then there's the next system and the timing on that moving up and across the area. And then we have to watch for that Friday, Saturday morning system there as well. And then the Arctic air mainly passing to the east, but this would keep us pretty chilly here. And then we go through the extended forecast a little bit. Another weak system moves on in through next week. That one kind of targets California and portions of Oregon as well. But again, we'll watch these systems because you can see this Arctic boundary really set up across southwest BC and down into Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. Now, if we look at the North American model, this one is hot off the presses, 12Z run, and let's see what happens as we go through tonight. You can see it doesn't show anything on this. This is one of the maddening things about trying to forecast some of this weather, but to be fair, I mean, look what it had for this morning. This is at 10 a.m. It truly did not capture this band also. So you have to take some of these models with a grain of salt. And right now I'm kind of leaning towards some kind of disruptive snowfall event here occurring across some of the Seattle metro. And again, it's going to be kind of a nowcast situation, but we'll continue to watch it. And I will be doing additional videos today. Now, looking at 500 millibar heights, this is that polar lobe we've been dealing with. There fits and starts and stops, snow showers. I mean, Forks over a foot of snowfall, some of the coastal areas all the way out to the beaches, some significant snowfall accumulations. It's been off and on. I'm at 2.8 inches officially here right next to SeaTac for this event as well. So it's been fairly significant. And then as we go on in towards the earlier portion of next week, this one right here has the look of a dry Arctic air intrusion back into the Pacific Northwest, but we'll watch the exact track of that. And that could still kick off some snowfall and also bring, again, another round of cold air as we go through next week. And 500 millibar heights with what I just showed you. Polar lobes, cooler, more dense, more clouds, trough, low pressure, precipitation. Ridging is the reverse. Warmer, less dense, higher heights. Now, there we go. Let's not look at that one. We're going to do GFS here as well. We'll look off in the extent a little bit, and we can see the surface low spinning off the coastline there. Chilly air sticking around, and then this next shot of Arctic air, mainly east of the Rockies, but we do get a deposit of that here across Pacific Northwest. You see things remain chilly as we go on in through next week, and additional rounds and shots of Arctic air showing up on the GFS as we go through next week as well. I mean, you can clearly see the offshore flow. Kind of looks like dry Arctic intrusions, but definitely would keep us cooler, and then you don't know what kind of system is going to develop and come in underneath that Arctic high as well. So yeah, fun stuff as we go through the extended. Now, if we take a look at a wider view of things here across Pacific Ocean, got Japan to the far left. There's Washington State. You can kind of see the jet is retracted. The whip is snapped. Look at the ridge out there across some of western Alaska, allowing for this troughing to dig down across the Pacific Northwest. And then we still stay in this north flow as we go on in through next week. You notice it, but probably a little too far east right now for a significant snowfall maker, but we got to watch it closely. And we're going to stay chilly here as we go on into the extended forecast, it looks like. And La Nina, I think we're going to be in a La Nina this year. I've mentioned some hesitancy about admitting that, but it looks like that we're probably going to end up classifying this as a La Nina. I don't know how you can't. This is really, some below average sea surface temperatures out there across the recording region, 170 to 120. This is where we measure it here. We've had some upwelling off the coast, and you can see some cooler water there off of, the Gulf of California and off of Mexico there. Baja, and then towards South America as well. So I think this is most likely going to be classified as a La Nina officially when all things are said and done. Now, looking at the National Blend of Models, this one is hot off the presses here. So this is Thursday morning, 29 Seattle. There's Friday. Friday morning looking pretty chilly. Some teens in the outlying areas of western Washington. Of course, you get east of the mountains, even colder. There's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. See some of these temperatures next week. We might remain here in the ice box a bit as we go through next week at times, and then maybe some modification through the extended, but no promises even with that just yet. Now the 6 to 10 day, you can see the below normal signal here across northern portions and the Pacific Northwest as we go through mid-month. There's the 6 to 10 day. We got that above normal look here as we go. Who knows about that? I mean, these precipitation amounts haven't been on the heavy side. We'll have to see what kind of systems move through. 8 to 14 days, something similar. There's 8 to 14 days. We go through February 18th. I got that above average signal here across the region again. And then here we go. This one was put out January 31st. This is for February 15th through the 28th. And I got that La Nina look here. And this can drag on you here. We might remain cooler and wetter than normal as we go on in through the later portion of winter into early spring, when you kind of want it to start to warm up. Sometimes these La Ninas can hold on into the early springtime here. Not a huge fan of that, but I do like the active weather patterns they potentially bring. Weeks 3 to 4, check it out, that above average through the second half of February, and there is for the month of February below. And then check it out, they're getting really detailed here with some of the monthly precipitation outlooks. You can kind of see this. They're really trying to parse out the individual areas here across the region. I find that curious. I've never seen it this detailed before. And then if we look at risk of hazardous temperatures, again, the Arctic air mass, it's going to be hovering around Western Canada, dropping down into some of the northern portions of the Northwest USA as we go through February 18th. And there's that slight risk. We can keep those snowfalls building across the higher terrain. Check it out. We're getting towards 95,000 subscribers. Click subscribe right now if you haven't. From what I've seen, the channel and the viewers, I mean, it's the following's great here. I mean, I've got a lot of supporting members and whatnot, and it seems like 50% of the watchers are subscribed, which is really high for a YouTube channel. So thanks, everybody. It seems like you're appreciating the content coming out. Click like and subscribe. We will do this all again here later today. I'm going to go live stream at some point and probably another video. So I will talk to you guys then.